up everyone? Today I'm going to be doing a review on my GameSir G7 Pro Xbox controller. I've used it for a few days now and I want to give a proper review, and if anything happens like button wise or stick drift or anything, I'll come back and I'll do another review. So let's talk about it. First off, I have a PS5 and an Xbox, but I heavily use my Xbox, and the biggest thing I run into is stick drift on the Xbox Series X and S controller. I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of spending money every 2 to 3 months getting new controllers when they keep getting stick drift over and over and over again. So I got the GameSir G7 SE, I believe it's called, for around $25 to $30, but I don't like how the sticks are. They feel loose, they are kind of annoying. This controller feels cheap, but I like it. It's a good controller. So I decided to do some research and I came across the GameSir G7 Pro. This is also coming from an Elite Series 2 previous owner. I sold it because I accidentally broke it by dropping it. But I have to say some really great things about this controller because it really shocked me how good this thing actually is. Like, it has the best sticks you can possibly get on a controller. I think they're called TMR sticks. And these feel a lot more firm. They feel like exactly kind of like an Xbox controller. Like, I like that Xbox stick feel, and this is very, very similar to that. It's better than the G7 SE. So that's why I had to do a review on this. And then I really think the triggers are really, really nice. The bumpers feel very similar to Xbox Series X and S controller. People are complaining about the D-pad, which I don't find too bad. You just have to get the kind. I'll show you guys the accessories real quick here. And it also comes with a month of Game Pass Premium. But here are the 2 additional D-pads. So basically has 3 D-pads. This is a charging dock. Now, it's not a wireless controller for Xbox unless you get an accessory, which I might be able to link below. But yeah, this is a charging dock, mostly for PC users. If you want a fully wireless GameSir controller, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more money. I think around $120 to $130, which I would probably complain about this more, but I did find this renewed on Amazon for $55, which is a really good deal. Normally it's $80. So, but yeah, you do have a cord. It's a very, very long cord that you can plug in to your Xbox, to your controller. But yeah, let's get more into detail here. I'm gonna drop this over here. So there are a couple extra bumpers, which I find very useful. For me, I go through a lot of bumpers on my Xbox Series X and S controllers. They tend to break super easily, and I'm tired of replacing them. Like, I've opened up the Xbox Series X and S controller so many times and tried to repair it, but the biggest problem is stick drift by far. So that's why I want to find something. So another thing is the grips. These grips feel really premium. It feels like an actual Xbox controller. It doesn't feel cheap like the SE. So also these parts is kind of cool. You can take these parts off on each side, and then you can also take the faceplate off. Boom, there you go. But let's talk about the paddles, because these are the biggest con that I have. I do not like these paddles. I don't like their placement. They make it very inconvenient, and a lot of people say they feel cheap, which I would agree. They feel like they're okay, but I don't like the placement of the back bumpers. That's the annoying thing. But also you have these trigger slider things, so you can press less down. You see the difference between, it goes all the way down and then this goes a little bit down. I feel like it's a little uncomfortable. Like on the Elite Series 2, the controller had, or the triggers had like 3 different configurations, and it went down like this, not like this. There's a pretty big difference. But those are just meant for, you know, quicker presses, especially in games probably like Call of Duty, Fortnite, you know, those are pretty useful. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of what the controller has to offer. Like, there's the mic button down here, and there's like a mute button, and then yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything about the controller. But the biggest reason I got this controller is mostly because of stick drift. And like I said, the GameSir G7 Pro has TMR sticks, which is better than like regular Hall effect. So these are the best that you can possibly get. There's nothing better. And I think that's the biggest reason why this controller is really good. And another thing that a lot of people don't probably know about is GameSir has an app on Xbox where you can remap the buttons. You can, you know, go more into customization for the controls, vibrations, the sticks, like pretty much everything that you would have in Elite Series 2, except it's way cheaper than the Elite Series 2. And that makes this a really amazing controller right now. And I believe it's like a pretty newer controller too. It's not really outdated. So this has by far been a solid controller. And as long as the triggers and the bumpers are good, I'm not too worried about the sticks because they're rated to be really good. And I'm not too concerned because the G7 SE that I have, I've been using it. And I have to say, the G7 SE feels way cheaper than this. It feels way cheaper. And it's lighter, and it's just, the sticks throw me off every time I use it. It reminds me of my PS5 controller. It feels impossible to actually get used to when you're playing a game like Rocket League, you know, where the stick sensitivity really matters, and even like Fortnite too. So if you want better, you know, sticks, then there you go. And this is what the actual, what is it called? The actual stick, I guess you could call it, or stick module, that's how it looks. So it looks definitely different than an Xbox controller, I'll tell you that much. And it doesn't have, you know, the extra things that cause problems in it, because this is like a magnetic controller. It has like actual better technology than those moving components on Xbox that just don't last very long. So this, like I said, I found pre-owned for $55, which is really not bad, and after tax it was like $59. And I thought that something would be wrong with it, but it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. They got everything in the box. You also get stickers. And like I said, you get Game Pass Premium for a month free, which is already worth $22 in and of itself. So that is another really cool thing. So my recommendation, because of just how affordable it is I would just try it. Like, just try it out. If you don't like it, then whatever, go back to Xbox. But yeah, this is by far the best controller that I've ever had. I guess like the only competition that I would put next to it is the Elite Series 2, which is such a great controller. It's super customizable. I would easily put it above the GameSir G7 Pro, but it gets stick drift, and that's the biggest problem. It gets stick drift in like 4 to 6 months. The other buttons and stuff are so easy to just break. And yeah, GameSir is not really trying to compete with the Elite Series 2. It's trying to compete with lasting longer, and that's the key to this whole thing. So I hope that helped you guys. If you have any comments, questions, put them in the chat, and I'll comment back to you. Please make sure to like and subscribe, show support. Peace.